Hi artists and art lovers, welcome to episode number 5 in our season 2 of Princeton Makes podcast. Woo! I'm Zohar Lavi-Hasson and today my guest is Marilyn Besner. Hi Marilyn.
Hi Zohar.
We are recording from our lovely space at Princeton Makes. And so this is the new thing that I do. I let my guest describe what Princeton Makes is. Can you tell us what Princeton Makes is so I don't get bored of saying
Oh, okay. Well, Princeton Makes is a co-op, and right now I think we're over 40 artists, and about 12 artists have their studios up here, and then there are maybe 5 more artists who have their studios downstairs, and then we also have this big selling space. So I'm relatively new to this co-op, and I'm really happy to be here.
Can you tell us what you do? What kind of art?
Yeah, I do pottery. I make work out of clay, and I work in my studio at home. And I've been doing pottery for a very long time, like since I was a kid.
Okay. And I just want to say that Marilyn is the artist of the month of February. So her work is at a window and you're welcome to come and check it out. And she's going to have an artist talk, which we will tell you later when and where. Can you tell us a little bit more how you started your work in pottery?
So when I was a kid, I was just learning that there was pottery. And then, as an adult, I took adult classes at night at the local community center in Montreal, where I'm from.
Yeah.
It's called the Sadie Bronfman Center. And they had visiting artists who would come and do workshops. So I actually worked there. I was the assistant to the curator in the gallery. And so I would know about when the workshops were coming up and I would sign up.
Yeah.
I learned different techniques, or I just learned how to work in a studio because I never was in a studio before.
Yeah.
And just, was fascinated by whatever I could make.
So how old were you?
Like 16?
16.
When I was 16, I would be doing stone sculpture there. Because there was this really fantastic artist named Stanley Lewis who was teaching stone carving. It was fantastic. So
nice.
I loved doing that.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then?
So I went to art school. I studied art history and studio art in Montreal at Concordia University. So then I got a job at the Sadie Bronfman Center at the gallery, and I was working for the curator. So that's where I studied. I went and took night classes. And then after that, I had a friend who introduced me to another friend, and I became a partner in an art gallery.
Oh, in Montreal. Yeah.
That was something that I wanted to do because I wanted to promote art. I wanted to be able to sell other people's art. And at the gallery was also a framing shop. So I learned how to make frames, and I learned woodworking. I learned how to hang a lot of art on the walls, and I learned how to interact with the artists and consider, what they want to get out of an exhibition. And that was when I was assistant to the curator.
Yeah.
But then when I was working in my own gallery, it was also, working with the artists to create, to make frames and pedestals, and working with art consultants who were buying art for corporations, and then framing for a corporate setting, framing for the gallery shows, just sort of working together with artists was interesting.
Yeah. You had like the relationships with them and trying to help
and
them.
also like learning woodworking was great.
And framing.
Yeah.
Do you still do that?
I don't have a table saw or anything, but I did make a table the other day, like with a friend who has a workshop
Really?
at her home. Yeah.
That sounds good.
I love working with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the through line.
Yeah. So like a lot of people here, you don't only do one kind of art, you do a lot.
Yes.
What else? You do wood and you do ceramics?
I do stone, wood, ceramics, cooking. Cooking is another thing that I get my hands into.
Are we already getting to your cooking career or not yet?
Well, you know, cooking was something that I started also when I was young. Mm-hmm. Not in an entrepreneurial way, but in a way that, you know, I wanted to do for my family. Mm-hmm. And so I became really good at making chocolate chip cookies and potato pancakes. Mm-hmm. Everybody loves chocolate chip cookies and potato pancakes. Yeah. And so those were my specialties.
That's like latkes.
Yeah. Yeah. When I came to Princeton.
Which was when?
Like 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. I was at home with my kids, and then, and I didn't have work papers. Yeah. But now I do.
Yeah, good.
But I wanted to cook because I thought, you know, that would be a great thing. So a friend of mine hired me at the Holler Center. I was cooking there for a while. And then I thought, oh, I could cook. I could make money cooking. So then with another artist who's here, Piroshka. Oh. She and I started a little business.
I didn't know you did it with Piroshka.
Yeah, making strudels.
Oh, strudels.
Yeah, we made apple strudels.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we were called the Moonlight Bakers.
Really?
Yes.
So where did you make them?
We worked in a commercial kitchen up in Skillman. Okay. And we met the person who owns Lily Pies, and we met a bunch of other people there. And then...
And where did you sell these strudels?
Oh, yeah, so we sold them to Dina DeLuca, which is like a food distribution. They have a food distribution business in like the center of the United States, and then they send food out all over. So we were selling to them. Okay. That was fun.
That's great.
Yeah. You know, it was like my first business in the States. Yeah. And then Piroshka and I decided that we wanted not to continue with that. But I think I wanted to continue learning about the food business. So I ended up taking a course in restaurant management. Oh. And then I was lucky enough to find a place to open in Lawrenceville. I opened Wildflower Bakery.
Which is a
gluten-free
bakery.
It was a gluten-free vegetarian restaurant in...
A restaurant and bakery?
In Lawrenceville, yeah. It was a cafe, a bakery cafe.
I've never been there. That's very bad of me. But I knew about it.
It was, well, it's no longer in existence.
Yes.
But
how many years was it?
We were there for 10 years.
And did you feel that you were still making art when you were in this business?
Well, you know, it was a business, and it's not like working in a studio, but it is a creative business. Yes. I really enjoyed the research and development part, like of creating menus and figuring out how to make things gluten-free.
So you were cooking there too, or you had cooks or chefs?
I had cooks, and I cooked.
And you cooked?
Yeah.
Was it very hard, like they say about business, like a restaurant that you open and it's like crazy?
Yeah, it is. It's very hard to make money. So, you know, it was good. You know, it took a while to make money because it takes a lot of investment of time and money.
Yeah, this is when your kids were already older.
Yeah, they were older. But, you know, and I learned a lot because I had never had employees really.
So all this time were you still making also other art, like pottery and
so sculpture? When we moved into our house, we bought a house in Princeton, and there was a garage, and it wasn't like, you know, living in Montreal where you need a garage where you know there's lots and lots of snow and it's cold. Here, I didn't think we needed a garage, so I said that space is going to be my studio. So I made it into my studio.
It's a lovely studio.
Yeah, thank you.
Lots of red clay.
Yeah. So
with pottery, right now you make pottery, right? Can you talk about your process of making a little bit?
So I make functional pottery. I made 100 and something kiddish cups goblets
Yeah.
for my daughter's bat mitzvahs.
Oh.
I did like 100 and something for for Lottie's bat mitzvah, and then 100 and something for Martine's bat mitzvah. So they're all spread out through Princeton.
Nice.
And
so everybody got their own.
everybody got their own.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun to do.
A lot of work.
A lot of work.
Nice.
But fun. Yeah.
And what other kind of things do you make?
And I make baking dishes.
Mm-hmm.
I make pies in them. I make serving dishes, cups, mugs,
Do you
bowls.
know like why you like making these functional dishes?
Well, I love cooking,
Mm-hmm.
and I love serving people
Yeah.
at home,
Yeah.
and it just makes things more lively,
Yeah.
I think, on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
And you also sell them here at Princeton Makes.
I am trying to sell them at Princeton Makes.
How's it going?
You know, it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. We are both ceramic artists.
Yeah.
Our tables are next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah.
It's so nice to know that people have your things in their houses, right?
It is nice.
I
And
like
also,
that.
like, I get to learn from you about Sgraffito.
Oh.
I never knew about Sgraffito.
Mhm.
And
I get to learn from you a lot.
yeah, so that's like another great thing of being in
Right.
this
And
co-op.
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
you know what I forgot to ask you? How did you get to Princeton Makes?
Well, Jim is a
Yeah.
friend,
Mm-hmm.
and he was helping me out at the cafe
Uh-huh.
before he opened this place.
Uh-huh.
And he was helping me with some business ideas.
Uh-huh.
And then he said, you know, like, I have this business idea. And, you know, I thought, wow, that sounds pretty interesting. So I had it in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
And it has already been in existence for 2 years when I joined.
Yeah.
And I was happy to join and felt very welcome.
Yeah. Did you miss making pottery when you were, or you were also
I
making?
would make a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
And now I have a real mission to
Mhm.
learn and perfect and try new things and, you know, get better and better and better.
So you're just doing pottery, except for the table. You are really focused on pottery now.
Yeah, pottery. Oh, I still pottery, and my life involves cooking
Okay.
and
That's always.
traveling and seeing how other people cook and work,
Mm-hmm.
make ceramics.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about how it is to make, pots and functional items, because I don't think a lot of people know what it involves, and it involves a lot.
It does involve a lot, especially when at this stage, I'm making a lot of shapes and then deciding I don't think I like that shape, so I let the clay dry, and then I have to, and then I reconstitute it in
Yeah.
water, and then I dry it out again and I wedge it. So it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
what do you mean you're making shapes? What do you decide? How do you plan your shapes, or you just like, let me make and see what happens?
I keep trying to get better at my technique, like making bigger bowls and, because working with more clay is a little bit more demanding.
Yeah.
And also learning how to structure a larger piece is different from working on a smaller piece.
Right.
And I'm also challenging myself to do things that are different. Like there's an artist named Betty Woodman, who is not alive any longer, but she has beautiful pieces. One piece is called Pillow Pitcher.
Uh-huh.
And she makes, I figured out because I've seen pictures, but she makes these tall cylinders.
Yeah.
And then, because you can see the throw marks,
Yeah.
like you can see the,
That she made
and then she turns it on its side, closes the ends,
Yeah.
the top and bottom, and so it looks like a pillow.
Uh-huh.
And then she'll add the neck of the pitcher
Uh-huh.
and the handle,
Yeah.
and it looks. I just like the contrast between like the softness of a pillow
Yeah.
and the hardness, the solidness of a
Yeah.
piece of ceramic
Yeah.
art.
And we're going to put a link on the show notes so you can see.
So I'm trying to figure how to work with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. I'm also
Yeah.
learning new hand building techniques.
Yeah. How do you learn from where?
So I joined this online group
Yeah.
where they have workshops like every month,
Oh.
and I can, like, be a member. I'm allowed to look at those workshops anytime.
Mm-hmm. So you make these shapes. Some of them go to recycle. Some of them are continuing to what?
Yeah, well, I haven't actually saved anything.
What do you mean?
yet.
You have tons of things here.
Yes, but like that pillow form,
new-
I haven't
So you're
gotten to
working
a
on that.
point where
But
I'm
just
anywhere.
maybe in general, making your process of making pots,
Mhm.
not this specific pillow thing.
For here, I wanted to have some things that I thought would sell.
Yeah.
So I made like smaller bowls
Mhm.
and small like baking dishes and
Mhm.
things, because I have bigger ones at home, but I think bigger things are harder to sell.
They're more expensive.
They're more expensive, and also like not everybody has room
Right.
for big things.
Yes.
People have room for little things, or will
Mhm.
imagine giving something to someone
Right.
if it's smaller.
Yeah. So you make the cup. Then
Yeah.
what do? You fire it,
So you make the shape,
the shape.
and then you have to wait for it to dry. Like this requires so much patience,
Yes.
which I don't have a lot of,
And many stages.
and stages.
Yes.
And it's like you have to see it through all the way. So you make the form, then you wait for it to dry.
How long?
Then you
Like a day,
You know, like overnight.
overnight.
And
I
then
know
you,
that. I'm just joking. I'm
and then
just
you turn it
pretending.
over,
Yeah.
and you have to trim the bottom
All right. On the wheel.
on the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Then you might want to put a handle on it, like
Oh, yeah.
a mug.
Which is also annoying.
Yeah, you would have to have shaped the handle
Mm-hmm.
earlier,
Yeah.
so it has a chance to set, and then you can put it on your leather hard piece.
Yeah. So they have to be exactly or almost exactly the same level of dryness,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is not very dry, but not very wet.
right. Leather hard,
Leather hard.
and
You connect
slip and score the piece together.
Yeah.
Put the handle on, and then let it sit for a while. Then you have to like sand it down a little bit, get rid of bumps and
Yeah.
imperfections, and then you put it in the kiln to fire for the first firing, the bisque firing.
How long is that?
And that's like you got to give it a day. So I put it in at night sometimes, and it fires all night. The kiln fires all night, and
Yeah.
then it's done in the morning. It takes like 8 hours or so. Once it's out of the bisque fire, then you have to glaze it.
Yeah.
And so you have to get your glazes all ready, and you have to decide how you're gonna glaze the piece.
And do you use a ready-made glaze, or do you make your own glaze?
Yeah, I buy ready-made glazes,
Mhm.
and I just actually took all my test tiles out because I was trying to see how the glazes look in combination with each other.
Yeah.
So you have to do test tiles, and you have to, there's a lot of research that goes into
Yeah.
it, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it's like doesn't work. Okay, so after you glaze, then you have to make sure that the bottoms are all clean.
Of course, you didn't say wax. Okay.
Yeah, and then you
Skip
put
some
them,
stuff.
and then you have to take care of the shelves.
The shelves.
I have to grind those shelves.
Oh my God. Every
like,
time?
with a hammer and a chisel sometimes.
Really?
Get the glaze off
Not
of it.
for my things.
Not for my things.
Okay.
And then put kiln wash
Yeah.
on the shelf.
Kiln wash. What's that?
It's like paint, like
Oh,
you
paint.
would paint it on.
Every time?
No,
No.
but now I'm going to do this again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's maintenance.
Yeah.
You got to like keep everything
Right.
in good shape. And then you have to put your pieces in and then fire again overnight.
Much higher temperature.
Yeah, like 10 times as high,
Yeah.
or not
Cone
quite.
6.
And then you open up the kiln, and sometimes it's fantastic, and sometimes it's oh no, it's not what I thought.
Yeah.
But then sometimes, like, give it a day or give it a few days, and you start to like it again.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm involving my own feelings in this discussion.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hate it after a day, no?
Sometimes you get really frustrated, but, you know, it's like you can start over.
Yes. It's part of doing pottery. I feel like you sometimes it breaks, sometimes it sucks, sometimes it's great.
Yeah, but the difference between doing pottery and a painting is, like, in a painting you can paint over something that you don't like.
Right.
But here it's like you do it, you invest all this time, and then it comes out and you can't do anything else.
That's also, I think it's also an advantage, because otherwise, when do you know that you're done? Like, never. So what's next for you, Marilyn?
So I got an email the other day. Somebody was interested in commissioning 24 mugs.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and they want me to, like, put words on them, which I've never done. And I think I might want to, like, etch into, like, carve into, and put a color in there or something. So I got to speak to you about how to do that.
So how did they hear about you?
They came here.
Yeah, to Princeton Makes?
Yeah, to Princeton Makes, and they went, they saw all the art in this place, and they ended up at my table.
Yeah.
And they liked my mugs.
Cool.
So they got in touch with me.
That's great.
Yeah, because I had my business card there.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Great. So good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
It's fun. I love doing commissions, just to know that I'm making something for someone. All right, so let's move on to Ask the Artist. As you probably know, you are required to answer these questions in one word or two.
Okay.
Yeah. So, ready?
Sure.
Okay. What is your favorite artist of all time?
Ruth Asawa. I just saw her, an exhibition of her work in San Francisco. I was there like a little while ago, and also in New York at the Whitney. She's a weaver of metallic filament.
All right, we're going to put a link to her website or something on the show notes. All right, next question. What is your favorite material to create with?
Clay, cooking, I don't know.
What is the space that you feel the most creative in?
Kitchen.
What music or podcast or soundtrack you like to listen to when you make?
I was at a nightclub in Montreal, and I used Shazam to try and figure out what it was, and then I created a playlist from it. And I don't know any of the music. It's just nightclub music, I guess.
What is your worst artistic nightmare?
I don't know.
Okay. You don't have to. You can say pass.
Yeah, pass.
Okay.
Thank you.
What is the percentage of art making versus admin in your life?
There's a much higher percentage of art making.
Great numbers.
Oh, I would say 80.
Ooh. In one word, please describe how you feel when you create.
Focused.
I like that. Okay, we are reaching the end of our episode, so I'm going to ask you for some promotional things. When is your artist talk?
February 22nd.
6:30 schmooze and
6:30 schmooze.
At Princeton Makes.
Yes.
And can you say where people can find your work, if you have a website or Instagram?
At Besner, Instagram.
Okay, and we'll also have a link to that in the show notes. And also, of course, at Princeton Makes.
Of course.
Yes. That's it. Thank you so much, Marilyn, for coming. Thank you, RD, for graphic design. Our theme music is by Renata Pugh. I'm Zohar Lavi-Hasson, producing and hosting. If you have any questions or comments, please email us princetownmakespodcast@gmail.com and let us know if you would like to be added to our mailing list. We have a newsletter which we send out about twice a month. Yeah, come to the artist talk. Come to visit us. Look at the art. You don't have to buy anything. Just come and say hi. Rate and share this podcast if you like it. We are located at the Princeton Shopping Center. We are open Thursday to Sunday from 10 to 6. And until next time, be creative, make art, not war.